If you have 10 delegate slots, but only, for example, 2 women or gender diverse people who want to go, only 4 delegate slots can be filled, because the number of men can never exceed the number of non-men.
Hey, Ryan, why are young men turning towards conservatism?
All right. So one of the main reasons why we have this.
You guys are gonna love this one.
A, it's awesome, and B, after I saw this video today, I had to share it with you. I absolutely had to share it with you, and let me just frame this for you. So, although this is a provincial NDP video, the NDP is tied to the federal party, right? It's all basically one party, so a lot of the policies are the same, a lot of the processes are the same, a lot of the approaches
And this is the only party that does that. The Liberals and the Conservatives do not do this.
Right.
Because in conservative and liberal politics, the federal party is very separate from the provincial parties, whereas the NDP, they're all kind of one and the same.
So that's why I'm kind of pulling it in here. Now, try and watch this just for entertainment's sake. Try and watch this as if it was like a Kids in the Hall or an SNL skit, because that's what it feels like. But it's not. But just imagine it were when you're watching this, and these two
Individuals.
young people are talking here. This is insane. So without further ado,
You guys are gonna love this one.
Convention is a deeply democratic process from start to finish. You might hear people say it's the highest governing body of the party. It's an important part of being a New Democrat, and there are many opportunities to participate and get involved leading up to and during convention.
Every riding association has the opportunity and the right to submit the resolutions that will be considered and elect the delegates that will attend. Meetings to approve resolutions and choose the folks to send will be happening all over Ontario over the next few weeks. Watch out for communication from your riding association about the when and where.
If you're interested in attending convention, you'll need to become a delegate. In most cases, for those who are not involved in any of the other bodies of the party, like the executive, affiliated unions, equity committees, usually this means you'll need to become a delegate of your local riding association.
Delegate selection is a democratic process at the riding level. Each riding is entitled to a specific number of delegates based on the number of members in the riding. This means that each riding will hold a general membership meeting to which all of the local members are invited to elect delegates.
It's important to make sure that your membership is up to date in order to ensure that you receive the notice of the GMM in your riding. You can take out a membership at ontariondp.ca/join or email info@ontariondp.ca if you're not sure if you're active and in good standing.
okay, that's not the end of the video.
This is pretty standard stuff so far, right? I mean, all the parties do this.
They did say the E word. They said equity. But they're a little goofy in how they're presenting, but so far everything is kind of normal.
Yeah, it's nothing really crazy.
But it's about to be not normal very quickly.
If you're a riding president or executive member interested in planning a GMM to select your delegates, you should have already received the GMM planning guide from the organizing team, but it can also be made available by request to your organizer.
At your GMM, elections will be held to choose delegates. One important thing to note is that we observe gender parity in internal party elections. This means that whatever your riding's allotted number of delegates is, at least 50% of the delegates you elect must be women, transgender, or gender diverse individuals. Unless you're only allotted one delegate, in which case they can be of any identity.
To reiterate, if you have 10 delegate slots, but only, for example, 2 women or gender diverse people who want to go, only 4 delegate slots can be filled, because the number of men can never exceed the number of non-men, he said.
I'm trying not to lose my crap.
Hey, Ryan, why are young men turning towards conservatism?
Why are men not turning towards the NDP?
That's my point. I don't know. Could you think of any reason why young men are choosing the Conservative Party?
I don't know. Apparently, you're a non-man, so you.
Is that what they're calling us now?
That's what they said. You're non-men, men versus non-men. All right. So here's the important part here, folks, and this is why I think the NDP is just trying to keep it parliamentary. Completely insane. So even if it's the Ontario NDP, so the NDP isn't exactly that popular in the country right now. So yes, Manitoba has an NDP government. Yes, well, I'm not even talking about BC, but this relates to federal as well. If you have 10 slots open for delegates, but you only have 4 women, or 2 women, sorry, that want to go, only 2 men can go, which means you can have a maximum of 4 candidates, despite that you were entitled to 10. Never mind the fact that there may be another 6 dudes that want to go. They can't go.
So one of 2 things is going to happen. They're just not going to send the full complement of delegates, or they're going to pick a bunch of women who have no interest in being there. It'll just be like, please, can you go so that we can send these 3 guys who really want to go? And like either way, you're not getting the proper representation because you want people who want to be there, right? Like if Ryan, for example, was on their EDA for this NDP party and really, really wanted to go, but they needed women, was like, please, Tanya, can you go? And I had no interest in going, but just so he could go, I'd be like, okay, fine, I'll go.
Well,
like that, you don't want a delegate who doesn't want to be there.
Well, never mind the fact that they're going to charge you the maximum amount for how much a donation is for that year, because that's what they consider it. So they're going to charge you $1,750 to go. So you're not going to get people that aren't really interested in going to go.
To be fair, this is provincial, so I don't know what the Ontario provincial limit is, but if it were
Probably
federal,
similar.
it's $1,750.
But like imagine you only had 1 woman that wanted to go. That means only 1 guy can go. Never mind the fact that you may have 50 delegates that could possibly go.
Or you're going to be cajoling 4 other women into going who don't actually want to go just so you can send 4 more men. That is ridiculous. I mean, when we go to our EDA meeting, there's not many women there. Like there's maybe 5 of us.
And the ridiculous thing is they say that, well, democracy is very important to our party, but not as important as
sexism?
What your junk is.
Right. Like
I can't.
I think, I'm not saying women aren't interested in politics, because obviously I'm sitting right here and I am very interested in politics. And I know there are many women in the chat who are also interested in politics, but I think there are more men who tend to be interested in politics than women. So in your average EDA, you're probably going to have more men than women.
So, that's really all I have to say.
WTF.
And please keep in mind, this was for the Ontario provincial NDP for their conference that's coming up in Niagara Falls. So,
but if you recall, at the federal convention that was in 2023, when they were having people coming up to ask questions during the convention, they were only allowing as many men to come up as there were non-men. So it was the same crap.
Yeah, you had to have a yellow card or whatever it was. We have a video somewhere in our catalog about this, and it was at the NDP convention here in Hamilton 2 years ago. Just ridiculous. Like, I don't understand how being, one sex or the other makes you more or less
qualified.
I was going to say interested in politics, but that's not true. It's qualified to speak almost, or qualified to represent your riding. Like, that's awful. Could you imagine if it was flipped? If it was that, well, you have to have 50% more men than women, for example, or you can only have as many women as there are men, and if there's only 2 men that want to go, then you can only send 2 women.
Let's go one step further. Imagine if it was, well, you have to have at least 5 white people. Can you imagine?
Right, like what you look like as a person, like what your DNA is, should not influence whether or not you're going to be, number one, able to be a delegate at a convention, and number 2, whether you're going to be a good or a bad delegate.
But this is
this is the world that the NDP wants us to live in.
This is the problem with the NDP. So have fun with that NDP, and when you're sitting there looking around the auditorium wondering why it's freaking empty, maybe go back to your bylaws and look at your delegation requirements, and maybe that'll give you a clue.